welcome back to my channel. It's Momna from Momna's Life, and today I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it's been like living alone. So it's actually been like 2 years and I'll say almost 6 months, so I'll say 2.5 years since I live alone, and I kind of wanted to go into detail with everyone on my channel on how that's kind of been for me, stress wise, just in general, how it's improved even my mental health and even like lifestyle changes ever since I've lived alone. Now, towards the end of the video, if you guys want to drop a comment on your experiences, and for those of you who do live alone, whether you guys are struggling or find it really just good for your mental health to even just live alone, we're gonna get right started. And we're gonna go ahead and just start on my experience living alone and how I see myself in the future, or if I even want to live alone long term. So guys, let's get right into the video. Now, my cat, I don't know if you guys can see him with the camera angle, but he is just happy to be on my bed. Now, I normally don't let my cat on my bed. Say what you want, I just don't like my cat being on my bed because, you know, he's his litter box and like he's really fluffy, and since it is very hot and it's getting hotter as we approach summer, you know, yeah, it's not a great combination of his fur getting on my bed or everything. But today I just gave him a shower, so yeah, I just want him on my bed today. But yes, let's get right into the video today. I started living alone right when I turned 20, and I feel like in the beginning it was definitely challenging, and I didn't always have my own place like I do now. I started living with a family actually, and they rented me their room, and that was like kind of the beginning of my journey living alone, because before that I always just lived with my family, whether it was my father or my siblings. It was just always me and my family. So being pushed out into the real world for whatever circumstances that made me have to come and live alone is what brought me to the place I am now in my life. So yes, in the beginning, living alone was definitely hard. I was like, how am I gonna make rent? And like, you know, I gotta buy my own groceries and just everything that comes into place by when you live by yourself. Because when you live with family or parents, you know, your parents go out and buy groceries or like shampoos, lotions, etc. So, you know, when you live alone now, for the most part, unless you're getting outside help, you kind of just have to take responsibility for all those things by yourself. And I think that was the biggest challenge for me at first, not just paying rent, but thinking about little things that you need. Like, I wanted a vanity, I needed a drawer for my clothes, all of that, and that costs money. And then depending on the job you have, you know, it really depends what you can and can't afford. So in the beginning, I definitely had to rent a room, and yeah, it was a great experience, and it definitely taught me that I am capable of living alone, and you know, I can make my own rent and I can get little things and still go shopping and still afford things. Obviously, not all of it was roses and berries, so to speak, but yeah, I don't think I regret having to live alone. I think it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, this was like about the first 8 months of living alone. I lived in a room with a family. It was great. The people I lived with were really nice. The only con I can say was, one, you know, you kind of just live in your room, and the bathroom, the kitchen, the dining area, especially like, say if you rent a room with, say, just other roommates, it's different. But imagine living with like a family. They have daughters, son, kids, and then I have a cat on top of that. So he's been with me on this entire journey, my little scrumptious boy. Yes. Oh, you're gonna bite me. I love cats. They're so feisty and like cute and cuddly at the same time. But yeah, so I've had my cat with me the whole time. And yeah, I had to make sure they were okay with me having a cat. And then also, they didn't want my cat around the living room too much because, you know, cats, he would throw up his fur balls and stuff, and they didn't like it. And up until recently, I got him neutered, so he used to spray and stuff. So, you know, that was always a downside living with people, because it's not just me dealing with it, it's them, and they're not my family. So it's like really uncomfortable when they're like complaining For example, like, hey, you know, your cat did this, and I'd kind of prefer if you kept him in your, you know, little room area, whatever. I even had to go as far as getting a gate to block my cat from being able to go in the living room in that place that I lived in. But they were great. They were really nice and very understanding of those things. The only downside, like I was trying to say, is the bathroom. So it was me and 6 other people living in this. It was a 3-bedroom house and 1 bathroom. 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom house with 7 of us. So imagine having 7 people, 3 women, including me, 4, and 3 men were living there. So all of these people, and then there's 1 bathroom. So the bathroom was definitely a struggle. So living alone can be great. Again, you got to really be careful how many people live in like one house. You got to make sure there's more than 1 bathroom. Living in a room is amazing, and it's almost just like, you know, you have your own place, no one bothers you, you come home, you do your thing. But then bathroom and stuff like that, that becomes very important. You want to look for a place that doesn't have that many people. So if I'm giving advice, I would say if you are looking to live alone and all you can afford now, especially because of inflation, housing is so expensive now, if you can only afford a room, definitely make sure, if it's like 5 people, make sure there's at least 2 bathrooms. Unless it's 2 or 3 people, 1 bathroom, you know, you guys can make that work. Otherwise, I definitely recommend doing your research, making sure not that many people live with you, because then you're really gonna struggle. There have been times where I had to hold my bladder so long that I almost cried, like literally. And I'm very introverted when it comes to certain situations, so I didn't have the balls to be like knocking the door like, hey, I gotta pee really bad, and if you don't get out, I'm gonna pee myself. Like, I didn't have the balls to do that, so I would hold it until they got out. It was terrible. But that's just that experience with living with too many people. Overall, aside from the bathroom, living alone for the first time, I got my room set up really nicely. It just felt so at home, and there was no family really there to tell you what to do, what not to do. It's just very freeing, if I can say that myself. Then 8 months later, I had to move from there due to certain circumstances, and I ended up finding a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Actually, I live in Brooklyn, New York, by the way. Very expensive, but you know, I think I got very lucky with pricing for this place I have. In another video, I'll give you guys a little tour. The only thing is, you know, I have a decent job and I'm making decent money, so it's just a little hard to save with everything being so expensive, because I gotta pay my rent, I still gotta get like things for my cat, I gotta get myself things, essential things, groceries. So of course things are a little expensive. So I haven't been able to buy any furniture except for my room. Of course, I have my bed and my vanity and all this stuff. I just really, right now, I can't get a couch and stuff, which is something I'm working on. So that's one of my goals right now when it comes to living alone. I kind of want to make the space really mine, because now I have my own place. It's not like I'm sharing a room. So, you know, it's been really nice. I think it's the most free I've ever felt. Like, you come home, your rules. You can keep your house as clean as you want. No one's gonna go in the fridge and take your food or cake or pastries. I love pastries. Or like, you know, when you would live with your family and like you'd buy something and put it in the fridge and be like, I'm gonna eat this tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and like your sister, your brother, or your mom or your dad ate it and you're just like, oh my god. Well, that's never gonna happen when you live alone, because it's only you. Now, I do have a boyfriend but he, like, you know, he doesn't do that. He knows better, because, you know, if he eats my things, he's just gonna have to like get me more at that point, or I'm gonna be really upset, because I love food, and if I put something in the fridge to eat it tomorrow, I'm gonna eat it tomorrow. So yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite things to live alone. You kind of just have your space, everything is yours, and no one can really touch your things except for you, and you have control of everything. The only downside is it gets stressful, because a lot of the times most of us don't make that much money. So, you know, once you pay rent, once you buy groceries, once you get this and that, you know, it's really hard to put some money aside to save. Now, I have been able to save a little bit more recently. It's just, you know, still a struggle with things getting more expensive. But overall, I think living alone is something everyone needs to do, because you really don't get to be yourself or like really understand your own lifestyle choices until you live alone. Because when you live alone, you're really in charge of everything. You're in charge of how you take care of your house, who comes to your house, how you like, you know, like for me, for example, I love cleaning and listening to lo-fi hip-hop, say it how you want to say it. And like, it just, I light my candle, I clean, I relax, I read manhwa and stuff, and it's just so relaxing. There's no one ever coming to bother me except for my cat or my boyfriend. But yeah, it's just freeing to live alone. And I feel like if you come from a family that, you know, your family always involves you within family drama, you're gonna escape that drama once you live alone, and it feels amazing to just come home and just deal with your problems. The only thing I ever stress about these days is probably just like wanting to buy a sofa and saving for that, you know. So my cat is slamming my cabinet. Anyway, that's kind of all I have to say for the most part about living alone. Is just, if you're thinking to go ahead and live alone, or if you already live alone, let me know your thoughts on like why you want to live alone, or why you wouldn't want to live alone, or your experience overall living alone, and if you agree with me or not. But I really feel like you need to live alone until you know, decide to get married or live with someone that you love. But yeah, if you guys like this video or would like to ask me any more questions that I probably couldn't think about living alone, don't forget to drop a comment, and I will try to answer your questions either through the comments, or I will make another video if there's enough questions about, you know, certain things that you guys want to know about living alone. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Like I said, leave a comment if you have any more questions, and if you're interested to know when I post a new video, don't forget to turn your bell on and you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and hope it was a little informative on what to expect when you live alone. And of course, everyone's situation is different. So yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, or evening, wherever you're watching or whenever you're watching. Bye.